In this video, we're going to be factoring polynomials that have an a value of 1. Our a value is the leading coefficient of our polynomial. So notice that here in each of our examples, it just says x squared, which means 1x squared. So we'll be factoring these types of problems. Let's take a look at our first example. Here we have x squared plus 8x plus 7. In order to factor this, we want to know what two numbers could multiply to make a 7, but add to make 8. So we can list our factors of 7, which are 1 and 7. And that's it. So here, we want to know, could we add 1 and 7 to equal 8? And 1 plus 7 does in fact equal the 8 that we're looking for. So we can write this as x with a 1 and then an x with the 7. Now, in order to get a positive 7, either both of my numbers, 1 and 7, need to be positive, or both of them need to be negative. But because my 8 is a positive 8, that tells me that my symbols both need to be positive. So x plus 1 times x plus 7 is the factor of x squared plus 8x plus 7. If we look at our second example, B, we have x squared minus 8x plus 12. We're going to use the same tactic in order to factor this. Some people call this the add-multiply method or the multiply-add method because you want to find what two numbers will multiply to the C value, but will add to our B value. So the factors of 12 are a little bit longer than the factors of 7. Because to get 12, we can go 1 and 12, or 2 and 6, or 3 and 4. So we want to know which of these factors could possibly add or subtract to get the number 8. And here we see that 2 and 6 could make an 8. So we're going to go ahead and we'll set up our factor. And we're going to be using the numbers 2 and 6. And we'll take a look at our symbol. We have a plus sign back here. So that tells us that both of our symbols need to have the same, be the same for the 2 and the 6. Either both positive or both negative. If we look at our B value, it's a minus. So that tells us we want these to be minus signs. So x minus 2 and x minus 6. And this is going to be our solution. Now, you don't necessarily need to write down all of the factors. If you know that 2 and 6 multiply 12 and add to 8, you could just write down the 2 and the 6. But if you're not sure, listing the factors can be very helpful. Let's go ahead and let's try letter C now. You know how to do this one on your own. So once you push pause, work out the problem, then when you're done, push play, and let's see if you're right. So here we have x squared plus 16x plus 64. We want to know what will multiply to 64 but add to 16. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight to 8 times 8. Because I know that 8 times 8 is 64, and 8 plus 8 is 16. So I'm able to write down my factors. So I have my x's, and I'm using the number 8. And I look at my symbols, and I have a plus sign back here. So that tells me my symbols are going to be the same. And I have a plus sign here, so that tells me that they're both going to be positives. So notice that these are identical, x plus 8 and x plus 8, which means that I can actually rewrite this as an x plus 8 quantity squared because there's 2 of them. So really, I can write my answer either way. For letter D, we have x squared plus 4x minus 21. So now we want to know what two numbers will multiply to 21 and add to 4. So here, I'm going to try my 7 and a 3. Now, when I look at my symbols, it's a minus sign. So the minus sign right there tells me that my symbols are going to be opposite of each other. So I can have the X, and I can have the 7 and the 3, but one of them will have a plus sign, and one of them will have a minus sign. So in order to get a plus 4, that tells me that my bigger number needs to have the positive sign. So the 7 will get the positive, and the 3 will get the minus. And that will be my answer. And if you want to, you can always double check here. So 7 minus 3, and that gives us a positive 4. So that's how you can factor polynomials when the a value is a 1.